Your ears evolved to survive, not mix. That's why they react differently to sounds when they are slightly off center. They're wired in a way that make perfectly centered, perfectly clean sounds feel dead. You ever build a loop that technically sounds fine? Nice samples, good balance, but something about it just feels flat. Like it's missing movement, character, a little bit of life. Lots of people will try and fix that with saturation, layers, processing. But the problem isn't necessarily your sound, it's your brain. There's a psychoacoustic quirk called pan bias. And once you understand it, you can make your drums and samples feel instantly more alive, more textured, more human, with literally a 1% nudge in the stereo field. Here's the science. I'm going to keep it simple. Your brain works out where sound is coming from using tiny differences in between your ears. We're talking fractions of a millisecond in timing and less than 1 dB in volume. Those are called interaural time difference and interaural level difference. Your brain is obsessed with these tiny asymmetries. That's why real instruments never sit perfectly center. Every hit, every strum, every breath naturally shifts a tiny bit left and right. So when you take something too clean, like a hi-hat, a shaker, snare, vocal chop, and you nudge it a tiny bit off center or automate it just to drift a hair, your brain goes, oh yeah, that feels more human, more real. We're not really adding masses of width. We're tapping into that human hearing system, or at least the way it's designed. So in this video, I'm just going to show you 4 quick ways to tap into that human hearing system. Right, this is one of my drum and bass streams. This is just a simple drum loop here. Everything down the middle. Naturally, some of these samples have a little bit of stereo width, but let us just do the simplest of moves. Static pan bias, right? Little left, little right. We're going to take the tops, which are, and we're just going to push them left like 20. Then we're going to take the shaker and we're just going to push it right 20. Now let's play that all together. Instantly, slightly off, something feels more real about it. We don't want this super wide, we just want it to be a bit uneven. It kind of like creates a little bit of micro movement without any automation. I think that's the smallest panning mix move of the most return. Number 2, this is an old school move, but we're actually going to use track delay in milliseconds to create a sense of space, or at least the shaker being somewhere in space. I'm actually just going to duplicate that shaker. First one's down the middle. So I'm going to take the second one, I'm going to just push it like 15 milliseconds forward in time. And it can almost give like a stereo feel, like it's in another bit of the space, which is interesting. Back on. And we're giving that shaker like real presence just from that super simple move. It's not enough to hear it as like a delay, but it's enough for your brain to go, ooh. The key is to not push it too far. I mean, 15 milliseconds is probably too much because we don't want to start flamming, but if it's too low, we'll get phasing still. So there's a balance and you can usually hear it. If I pull it back down to like 5, you can hear it phasing, right? Starts to go out somewhere around here. So even like 9 would be good. Anyway, again, keep it subtle. Number 3, this is a interesting one. We could do like an auto pan over, say, time, maybe a bar. But we don't want it to be too obvious. Slow it down a bit more. Just turn it up to make it more obvious. You can see here on the level, we're just moving. I might even do a factor of 4. So that it very slowly pans. Again, we're putting it in space. You could do it with an LFO if you wanted. This kind of is that, it's just built into Cubase auto pan. It's not like, this is not like a dancey auto pan. This is just a sway, just to give movement, to give feel. Again, texture, human, Is that a word? Humans can't play perfectly consistently, so this would simulate the mic picking up hats ever so slightly differently in different points of space. Number 4, I would say layering for pan bias. So if we take, say, this would work better with a single hi-hat. So what I'm going to do is just cut that first shaker for this example. And let us just pretend we had something like this, maybe like that, right? I'm actually going to convert these fully to mono. So we've got that hat in mono. So we're hoping for dead down the middle, right? Which you can hear. We're going to duplicate it. We don't want these to phase, so we're going to take this bottom layer and we're just going to go slightly out of tune. We're going to fine tune maybe like -20, and we are going to delay it ever so slightly, maybe like +12. Then we're going to pitch it left. Let's go left 30, and then for the top one, right 30. On the left one, I'm going to roll off all the bottom and just leave the high. The air. And then on the right one, maybe we leave a bit more bottom end, take a little bit of that air out. And now you can start to hear no plugins. Maybe we fine tune up a bit more. So this was before, after. We're just putting them in a sense of space. And when you start, let's delete all of those. When you start to do this amongst all your layering, so let's take our tops, we're going to push, let's just say we're going to push those left, we're going to push the shakers right a bit. We've got some percussion here. See, I've got a little insert for stereo chorus here. Just to bring out some of those hits. Maybe we push the brake slightly off to the right, and then we got a rim shot here. Slight left. And all of a sudden, there's life, there's humanness in our drums. And we'll collapse this to mono. Still sounds all right. We lose a bit of that percussion. So maybe we reduce the depth. Yeah, there it is. We can still hear it in mono now. Let's listen to that in context, perhaps. Hear that percussion. And the hats and shakers have real purpose, right? And by allowing a little bit more room through the middle, we've got that kind of bass down the center. The vocal as well is allowed to sit a bit more proud. It kind of helps the overall track. From this, to this. Some quick mistakes to avoid. These are not set in stone. Everything should be challenged, but generally speaking, don't pan subs. Especially in dance music, when we're making music for club systems, which tend to be in mono. Don't pan everything. If everything is interesting, nothing is interesting. Leave some stuff boring. The trick is subtle on purpose. If you hear it loudly, it's probably wrong. And always check in mono. If your mix collapses when sum to mono, pull it back a bit. You can do it in most DAWs. They have built-in mono features, or you can get yourself a little shit box and bang a signal through that. So the theme with all of these kind of tricks, my previous video, the 3 cents thing, this pan bias, all of it is that imperfection feels human, and digital gives us perfection by default, and especially with the rise in AI and stuff, everything is starting to sound very perfect. And you can hear it in these AI beats at the moment. There's something off and you can't quite tell what it is. Don't get me wrong, some of it sounds amazing, the songwriting generally, but something doesn't feel right. And a lot of the time it's imperfection until they program that part in, which I'm sure they will try. That's the giveaway. Anyway, look, try nudging a few things by 1 to 3% on your next beat. You will hear it. Tiny moves, big humanity. See you in the next one. Peace.